How's it going, ScrubGamers? Welcome back to another video here at ScrubGames, and today we've got another Scrub Talk video where we're going to go over some decks that I think are rogue or casual that I think have potential and could be good things to take to your locals or even try out in big events. But before we get into that, big shout out to DBS Deck Planet for being the best and only deck builder in the game at the moment and having a great dedicated team behind them and great features and just always improving it with things like import to untap so you can test it like I've been doing for streams, and also as well as that exporting deck lists. You don't have to spend that time writing them out and have clear handwriting for it as well because where it's printed. And also before we get into it as well, feel free to like the video if you do enjoy it at the end. Comment down below if you've got any suggestions or if you've got any opinions on what happens in the video, what I go over in the video. And lastly, feel free to subscribe if you want to keep updated with my videos as when they drop. And especially by clicking the notification bell, you get alerts when they do drop, so you're aware when my videos do come out. And it also helps me get to my goal of 1,000 subs, which I'm slowly on the way there, just going over a third of the way there at the moment. So without all that advertisement stuff and coverage from my channel and stuff, let's get into the video. So there are quite a few decks I feel that are fun and casual, and I think you take the locals, especially since we've got the I've started up the UK webcam locals starting just 2 weeks ago, and happening every Friday. Which, if you are not from the UK, don't worry, don't let the UK in the name discourage you from joining. It's mainly called the UK webcam locals because it's at UK time, and because I'm from the UK, and that's why I started it. And it's more just there so people can, if people don't have locals, can't get to locals, or just can't play in person, they at least are able to use their own cards, play with a bunch of people, playing friendly, casual games every week on a Friday. And as it's free to enter with no participation, so there won't be people trying to like cheat potentially to win stuff, because I know when there is webcam games, if there's prizing involved, there are some people, I think in every single webcam event so far that's had prizing, there's been someone trying to cheat. So it's nice, relax, nice people as well, or just enjoy the game, and you get to try play against new people and different things. Because if you've seen the past 2 results I've put out, there's been barely any of the same deck played, a load of variety and leaders, and a load of fun. And speaking of that, there are for each color I feel some decks that I feel that are fun decks you can take your locals that are casual, and some of them I feel do have some good potential. So while looking around, I did find 2 of each color, so red, green, blue, yellow and black, that I feel are pretty good fun casual decks or even rogue decks that you could try out, and either try them out for your locals or have potential I feel to be good in taking to big events. And starting it off, we're going in color order, so we're going for red first, and each one also is a wish leader, and one is not a wish leader, because I do love my wish, and I feel that's unrepresented mechanic in the game, because not many people play wish leaders. Like, it's only recently we've got the things like in this format, in this block, things like Mecha Kabura being a different kind of wish, being a more dark wish than normal wish, and also Zamasu wish as well. These are more decks that really have how wish started back in the beginning when we first got the wish block, and Bandai seemed to improve, like realizing that, improving the wish leaders out there and wish mechanics, so it's a lot better going forward. So starting with the only one in red, because surprisingly still red is the only color that has only one wish leader, and that is red Pilaf. Now, this is one I've been enjoying as quite a janky leader, and I've been enjoying it as like in janky games, because before I started the UK webcam locals, I was looking to try and like create something that's more fun, for people to try out more fun, interesting things instead of meta, like try hard kind of stuff. And I was thinking about doing a janky lead, so like we spent a bit of time in my old Discord trying to figure out like what leaders would be good, like have exclusive. You can only play certain leaders to keep, because otherwise you can just bring out a busted leader and just put all the stuff with it. And while you can still use like a janky leader and put all the like good of a color stuff in it, we tried to try to limit it down to having the janky league. And while instead I'd put the UK webcam locals instead, I still had fun testing out Pilaf, and it started off something janky, but I thought it could have quite good potential as well. Because slowly with most Wish decks, Ban have been slowly releasing little bits of support to help make him a bit better. And what hasn't made him a lot better is made him a little bit better. And with Pilaf, it's got things like Power Booster to help with the King Piccolo, that helps put balls to drop with a 1-drop, because it's one of those leaders that requires battle cards to swing to get balls. So it's got a not inherent in itself. Like without outside help, it can get the balls to drop. And it's got things like yes, I said the Power Booster Piccolo, the Familiar Bonds to help play something and also search for balls, and even the new Get That Monster, which allows you to search for a ball or a desire to help towards the flipping over with Wish. And is a nice one as well because it's actually got quite a strong ultimate Wish skill in the fact that you remove all 7 Dragon Balls, you draw 3 cards, and then you give one of your battle cards 15k power for the duration of the turn, which is quite nice. And there's a nice combination that I've got where you can give something like a big bad card, extra 15k power, drawing 3 more cards, and having fun with it. And there's different ways you can play it. And red is one of those colours that gets a lot of good generic support. And this could be a fun thing to play. And it's only Wish leader, so it's the only real choice for if you want to play Wish for red. So I recommend giving it a try for locals. And I would even be tempted if we do get big events to maybe try it in a big one. But I have to still get all pieces for it because the one secret error I do run for this is the Frieza Goku one, because of the fact you can drop that turn 5, use the leader's effect to do a free wish to bring out a Pan Fearless, using Familiar Bonds to give the secret rare an extra 5k in double strike, and then you've got a 45k dual attacking double striker that can have his attack countered or blocked, and then also has the effect to remove yourself from the game to burn your opponent life. So if putting yourself down to putting your opponent's leader down to 3, and you can pressure with that, put them down to 1, you don't win the game, and it's quite a fun way to finish off games with that way. And then for the other red deck, we have Frieza, Golden Frieza, Majestic Emperor. So this is one that we got back in set 6, which was a fun deck, and I know is one that I tried as soon as it was released because it was more Frieza Prison. It was called because it was a prison because of the fact that it locked your opponent out of playing things, or doing stuff, and with that you basically limit your opponents to what they could play, and then locked them out of playing anything at all when you got to the big boss card of the deck, which is the 8-drop. That meant that if either a player wanted to play a card, or battle card, they needed to place 4 cards from the life into the drop area to do so. So you put your opponent down to 4, play the 8-drop, and then they can no longer play battle cards. And back at the time, there wasn't any easy way to remove battle cards as there are now, and since it doesn't have barrier, it did have barrier at the time, but there was very few ways to remove it, so it was a very strong strategy. And now since we got more things to remove battle cards that don't have barrier, it's that option for it is not as strong, but still it's a very good leader because it has advantage on both sides. On the front side, gaining a red extra card once a turn, so you can make use of red extra cards, and on the front side, being able to just draw 1 without attacking is very good. But it's one of those leaders that has a deck building restriction on it, where you can't include any battle cards and she costs a 3 or less, meaning back then it was locked out of super combos and stuff like that, whereas now it's finally got a super combo from support slowly over time, and also unison support as well from anniversary boxes. And it's a great one because it's got more and more support. Like it's more of a late turn game, but it can have very strong cards, and having a load of extra cards to help defend yourself is very good. And just also the fact you can gain advantage, and being a draw 2 leader when it awakens is a nice thing as well. And especially when it comes to set 17, there's going to be the GT8 drop that you can play under a unison once per turn to give a marker, and then from under the unison it can be play itself by paying 3 once you get to 4 energy, by just paying 3 red. Means you can make use of your unisons you play in this deck by giving it markers with that, and just keep popping out from under it a 8-drop that can then potentially minus 30k your opponent board, and then swing, and then put itself back on the unison to keep giving markers. You can keep giving your unison markers quite easily and quite nicely, because this deck can't play the 3-drop Bardock because it can't play 3 drops or less. And the only other way you can really give things markers in this deck is by playing the Gogeta BR Union Fusion Evolve Chain, which costs quite a lot of energy and quite a few cards to do. But I feel this is a good one that you could give a try out, and I feel it's got potential competitive the more red extra cards we get. Like in Realm of the Gods, we got every color got a Realm of the Gods extra card, and for red it's a very good one in being able to offensively, so during your turn, be able to minus like number 30k on a swing, and then defensively, giving yourself a 15k boost to a battle card, to a card for the battle, and then drawing a card. So essentially being an unbreakable Goku, that's 5k more power, and an extra card that's searchable with this, which is very nice. Those are the red decks I feel have potential, and ones I will be looking to play in future, especially this one with the next set coming out. And then as we go in color, next we got blue, and the blue wish leader that I feel is pretty good and has some potential is blue Dande. This one is one that was also meta back when it was released, because it was part of the AOD strategy. We're getting the secret rare AOD Boo to then spam out a board of AODs, which is Ancient Destruction, and that was quite nice, but it slowly dropped off after time. As time went on, more sets came out and more cards were released. And it's a really nice one. Is one of the few, is not the same as the first lot of leaders, wish leaders we got, where they needed outside help to get the balls to flip over. It had a way built in to help search the balls, just like the black Shenron wish leaders did, which is by searching for 2 by resting itself, and also, but now it's got burst 2. I mean, you could even search for more balls by milling them as well. And it does have a pretty good ultimate skill where you move 7 Dragon Balls, then you draw 2 and untap 2 blue energy, which is nice. And it also has a pretty busted deck in Scuffle Time Dande, which is quite fun. And I still feel very strong. And with blue, you don't often get aggro decks with blue, because blue is more of a defensive color, and I feel this could be used as a blue aggro deck, which is not seen and could be unexpected, and I feel has a bit of potential. And then for the other blue leader, we have the SSG Son Goku Crimson Warrior, and this is one that has recently topped a card market event, so just to show that it is pretty good. And this is one that back when it was revealed, people thought Soul Striker was going to get hit because it has the same kind of effect as Soul Striker. And just like with Soul Striker as well, it can awaken at quite a high life because it's got an alternative awakening condition going as Wish, which is just by putting 5 Saiyan cards from your drop area under your leader to draw 3 and untap 1. And then on its awakened side, whenever it attacks, you draw 1 and then tap a mono blue energy. So you untap 1 less than Soul Striker, but you've got an interesting way to do things, and also an activate battles, which is quite handy. And it has kind of like a Hercule kind of feel on the front side, and then still quite good use. And the thing with it is, people normally see blue and they see Soul Strikers being the best and really only good blue deck that functions. But then obviously you've been seeing, or more in Europe than the US, is no Soul Striker tops and just ever blue decks doing better instead, like Android 18 at the time before it was nerfed. Blue Bojack, Blue Baby, this Goku as well. And we're not seeing any Soul Striker top, just different blue decks, which is nice. And even Android 16 and stuff, like ever blue decks and not Soul Striker. And I feel this one has potential because the more Saiyans we get, the more it could be useful for this deck. And like every deck, like every leaders, like over time they could get some more support as well. And I feel this is a good one to try out for your locals or even try out for a big event. And then for green, now green is a tough one because green is the worst card in the format because of the fact that its plays are more costly than other colours, and it doesn't get represented much with good cards, good archetypes. It is mainly the colour, just looking at the last few sets, where Bandai test their ideas, and it's normally quite bad ideas to put into it. But we've got the Wish leader being Chilalima, which was a prominent leader back ages ago. It was piloted by Eggman, and was actually really good because of the Victory Strike strategy. And it's just got slowly over time, it gets more and more support through Broly BR, and is a fun way to, and it's got different kind of things, and with Wish leaders having some fun desires and some good desires as well. Like it's got a board wipe one, and it's also got green's tools to help pop things and survive easier with like dormant, freeze and stuff like that. And green also has the better of the Wish support in the fact it's got an Oob, which you allow to combo with. Send 3 balls from your deck to your drop area, and then potentially, and if you do, send at least 1 KO1 drops. It's got defense in that way to help against aggro, and ways to get the balls to drop. And unlike the first lot of Wish leaders, it's got ways built into its leader to search for balls to help you awaken easier. And it's got ever support, which we slowly be getting in anniversary sets and things like that, to help awaken really quickly. And it's just a fun, good, strong deck. I might even take this to local soon because I've got most of the pieces to try out, and it will be one after the, because I've currently got 4 decks I'm wanting to play for the next 4 locals, and after that I'll be trying out some of these decks in this list as well for my locals and streaming it, and also putting a deck list out for them as well. And then the other green deck we have is one that I got to give it a shout out to, big notation, and that is Green Boo. This is one that I saw him play and looked quite interesting because it involves the Union as well mechanic, which we haven't seen much in the game, and it's mostly used on like Cell and stuff like that. And this is a fun one because it's a green deck. I do like my green decks, and it can be quite aggressive as well, and it's got some quite interesting strategies. And it's one of the few decks that has a quite heavy reliance on Spirit Boost. That is actually decent and not terrible, because what Spirit Boost is for to use that skill, you need to remove a certain amount of markers indicated in the Spirit Boost. So Spirit Boost 1 means you need to remove 1 marker from your Unison to use that skill, and that requires you to have a Unison that survives. And in this deck, you can establish a Unison and have it protected and not able to be attacked, already interacted with, which allows you to make use of the Spirit Boost skill, which is what any deck really that has Spirit Boost skills or Spirit Boost reliance needs to have, because I've seen a lot of games, especially in local stuff, when people see a Unison come down, they fear that more than anything else and just go straight for that instead of leader. I've had people spend time killing my Unison instead of trying to kill me because they fear it more than actually trying to win, which is an odd one. And it's a very good one as well. It's got built-in self-awaken, it's got a lot of draw, and it's got some interesting text as well to try out. So I recommend giving that a try, and I will have a deck profile tomorrow for this. And once again, shout out to Big Notation for being the brains behind the deck, like bring it together, and you'll see it tomorrow when I put the list up as well. If you do want to try it out, and it will be. And this is the one that I am playing for this week's webcam locals. So stay tuned to that on Friday if you want to watch me stream it. Which just link to my stream will be down below. And that is it for green. And then we go on to yellow, and the yellow wish leader that I want to go over is the yellow Dande. Now this is one that will have like a really good show, and it's a really big brain deck now. It's put together like a really good and really well built deck. And yellow over time is just getting loads of good generic support, and this one is getting even more, because with more yellow support, more Namekian support, and more Freezer support, this deck just gets better. And just like the blue Dande, it's got an easy way to self-awaken because it's got built into a leader, ways to search for 2 balls a turn to help you wish over quicker. And instead of getting Desire, you get Namekian back, and since most of the time you get out of your super combos the Guru one for this, you get back you can use a super combo and then get it back from flipping over, which is nice. You tend to get 5 super combos, which is quite fun. And it's one of the very few decks where you can recycle your super combos as well, because the Guru is a free cost, and it's got a Bulma that only which was with Shenron leaders that I can put up to 3 when it's played. Draw a card and put up the free cost and more battle cards from your drop back in your deck, and you can put up 3 more Gurus and have recycle your super combos, which is very nice. And it has a good use of it's like a hand control deck as well, because it can control your opponent's hand very well with the some of the things like the 1-star ball and some of the freezer cards to help control, and you've got utility in the freezer package as well, which is pretty nice with the desire cards. And this is definitely one I love because Piccolo is one of my favorite characters from Dragon Ball Z, and it's just a very fun deck and a very nice one to try out as well. And there's not many much support you get, and many Namekian leaders you get in this game too. And then for the other leader for yellow that isn't the wish, we have Garlic. Now this is one that I have liked to start building. I just need to get a few more pieces for it, and it's a fun one. But just like it was one of the very few leaders in set 11 that aren't great. Like set 11 is one of the sets where it had a lot of very prominent strong leaders, and also some very strong cards in it, like a very strong support. Like in blue it had Baby and SS4 Vegeta, it had Red Broly, had the Higher Dragon as well, and Dark Broly. I can't remember what it had in green now. I think it was these Gotenks was also a very prominent leader at the time, and it didn't have many leaders that weren't great, and Garlic was one of them, where when the first show of it wasn't very good. But as I said with yellow, the more support we get this generic, the better this becomes. And as well as got an alternative awakening condition where if you have a unison card that's yellow with a specified cost of three or more. Well, if you have a yellow specified cost of 3 unison in play, you can awaken that way without having to go to 4 life. And when we first got this, we got the baby unison, which isn't amazing. And then we got the trunks unison, which is a very good one, a helpful removal plus dual attacks. And in the next set, we're getting a Gohan one, which has a +1 to draw 1, which is great added to it to give it more draw, because this deck can get quite a bit of draw going on. And it also has a way to give your leader like a bean, if need be, for a turn, and give you more attacks as well with it. And with yellow being defensive, having the unison with it just +1 every turn is quite nice, especially with 15 as well, and is a good addition to this because you can be quite defensive and protect your unison very well with this. And I feel this could be a deck you can give a try at your locals, even try competitively to give a try. And I feel like you should try it out and try something a bit different for yellow, and I trust you will have fun with this. And it's not that expensive either, it's quite cheap and quite easy to put together. I think I do have a list on my channel. We'll be updating with a new one when we get the next set as well, because I do enjoy this one. And then for black, we have Porunga as the black wish leader, and this is the last lot of colours now. We've only got 2 more. And like most people that watch my videos regularly and watch my channel would probably think this would be the Wish Shenron, because I've been playing the Shenron Catapestal deck, and that has a lot of fun and very aggressive once it gets to turn 4. But then Porunga is one that is quite interesting, and it has been prominent. Like, it was one of the wish leaders back when we had the World Peace situation where you could World Peace in the Gogeta to put your opponent's hand to down to 3, then World Peace again to get the Kaioken Goku, then the last 3 cards at your opponent's hand, and then World Peace out the Victory Strike, then swing for game with that. And with this leader, you wouldn't need to have 3 World Peace, you just need 2 World Peace, and then you can use Leader's Effect at the time, which is basically World Peace built in for his ultimate skill. To do that, so you just need 2 World Peace and all 3 of those cards in drop, which is easy to put in there. And it was pretty prominent, and now it's basically dismantled with everything either being errated or banned. But there's also another way to play this, and that was with the Ginyu. It was Porunga Ginyu, which was just drawing loads of cards and having loads of Ginyu forced in your hand, and then getting to turn 3, playing the promo Ginyu from the first tournament pack, which when you play it, you can play all your Ginyu cards from your hand that except for Ginyu, ones that have Ginyu in its name, in its character name, and play it on board. So you spam a load of Ginyu force, like all your Jaces, Guldos, Bertas, and Rakums, and then you played the red one from the Theme Booster 3, and give them all 10k boost. You had base 20k, a board of base 20k Ginyu force, which is like about 10 or more. Some having critical, double strike, and ever skills, and just spam, like just aggroing your opponent down in one whole turn to pressure them really hard with this as well. And I feel like people aren't really prepared for aggro from what I've seen from like watching streams, tournaments, and videos of people playing games. And I feel this could be a quite fun one to give a try out, and also Wish is quite fun as well. And it's very cheap to build too, and it's a nice casual deck. Then the last black deck is one that I've been playing and even took to one of the fest events, and that is Kid Goku from the set 6, the first real skill, the first ever skillless deck, and the only real one we've got at the moment. Which is this is one that back when it was released, it needed to have a never cut over it because there wasn't much you could do to make a mono black deck. Where now, as time goes on, we've got so many sets. So we've got never 10 sets since this was released. We can now play mono black with it, and the good thing about the mono black stuff is it's mostly Zeno, meaning it gives actually to the Gogeta Zeno, and has very good intricacies to make use of skillless cards, be very aggressive, switch between being conservative or aggressive, and just have easy awakening because you can awaken at 6 or less life with his permanent if you have a skillless and drop, which is very easy to pull off. And also have a lot of combo power, and the fact that you don't need to attack the draw, so you can gain advantage without having to enter combat with this leader. And I think this is a very nice one. It's mostly overlooked from most black decks because black is one of the most prominent colours in the game with Gogeta Zeno and things like that. and having and there's quite a few good black decks in the format. I feel this is one that is less expected and catch you off guard, but also being very aggressive to decks that want to try and stave off and survive till later turns. And that is it. That's all for the decks. These are all decks that I feel on leaders that I feel are going to be nice and could be have quite a bit of potential and nice calls to go for tournaments as well, especially since rogue picks are a really nice way because your opponent might not be expecting them, realize what they do, and that allows you to take games from your from opponents as well. And these are all ones that I will try at some point over the next few weeks from my UK webcam locals, and which I'll be streaming and having fun with as well. So once again, thank you for watching the video. Feel free to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.